Thanks, Patrick. Obviously, we're 22 days, 23 days into practice now, so we've got a lot under our belt. It was good to have the scrimmage on Saturday. I thought we did a lot of really good things, improved as it went on. It was good just to even simulate somewhat of a road trip with a bus ride down to Cedar Rapids. And now get a chance to get back and learn from that film. I think it's always important to be able to see yourself against somebody else. I know our guys were getting a little antsy and edgy, constantly playing against the same faces for the last 20 days. We did a couple throwback Thursdays, as you may have seen, with some alumni coming in, and having two pretty good former players on my staff also helps kind of fuel the fire of those days. So I thought that was good to kind of break up the monotony of practice with those games. But like getting ready now we'll review today what happened on Saturday, and then have tomorrow off and start to prepare for lacrosse on Wednesday and Thursday, and looking forward to playing here under the lights on Friday night.
Questions, John?
Greg, I think last year in the preseason, you guys were really excited about what Trevor Anderson might be able to bring. Then he had a couple injuries. How far along is he in his progress of getting back to that point where he was before he first got hurt last year?
Well, I think there's two components anytime you come back from an injury like that. One is the physical component, the healing, any of the other issues that come with it. Sometimes the other side of your body hurts because of overcompensation. You know, Kobe went through that, and I think I don't know a percentage of where he is back. He's in every practice. He is on somewhat of a pitch count at times in terms of repetitions, but there's not really any drills right now or anything that we're doing that he's not a part of. But then there's also the mental component and trusting it, knowing you're gonna be okay. He took a spill last week in practice where he got knocked down and kind of looked around, and he was all in one piece, so everything was okay. So there's those two, and then the other thing, obviously seeing him on Saturday, you know, it's been a while since he had played, you know, since the Iowa game last year. So just that whole live game atmosphere, those type of things, and part of the mental, part of it's physical. You know, he's made great progress. I think he's probably, if you looked at where we thought he'd be, he's probably ahead of schedule. But I know in his mind, he's not where he wants to be. He gets frustrated at times, and you have to be patient with that, knowing that it's going to take a while. He won't be back to the original Trevor Anderson, maybe not this year. Those type of injuries sometimes take a while to come back, and a lot of it, at the tail end of it, it's a mental hurdle you have to get over.
Jim?
Multi-part question here, sorry, but I think a couple of them are kind of yes or no things. Are you still in a holding pattern on the Potter situation?
Yeah, we are. We're still, we haven't gotten a decision back on that yet. I don't understand it, because obviously there's a level of frustration that continues to grow with that, because you see all these other waivers getting approved across the country, and I don't understand really the logic behind why this one wouldn't get if it doesn't. Because in terms of, you want a student athlete or you want a young man in your program, he's been phenomenal since day one, and I think that was always my trepidation when he transferred in or was going to transfer in. How does he fit in your locker room? What messages he bring? How is he as a person? How is he as a teammate? He's been off the charts phenomenal. He's done a terrific job academically. I just don't, it's hard when you see somebody that tries to do it the right way could get extenuating circumstances or extenuating punishment in terms of if he's not eligible. He'll sit longer than anybody else in the country in terms of, there's so many that have played last year. I am watching all these waivers get approved in 30-some games, 20-some games, and they're immediately eligible. We don't know always the underlying reasons, but I know the reasons behind Micah, and I've seen how he is day in and day out, what he does academically, and he's, you know, you've seen my other statement, everybody knows he's missed a year already. It'll be a year and a half if this doesn't move forward. So, like I said, it's not many things get me raise my blood pressure. This is one that is.
Part two, sorry, is, do you have any idea like when this could play out till, or when you might get an answer? And I guess, answer that question, then part 3 is like, is he with the top group, as you wait to find out, or how do you handle that?
There's part 1 first, Jim, there's no timeline. We haven't been given a timeline, because we'll just continue to pursue it as long as we need to. And then secondly, no, I haven't put him in the top group because he's not, at this point in time, today, he's not eligible to compete against outside competition. So, hence he's been with the scout group, and, no, because I'm moving forward or operating in the day that we're in right now. So if I get any information or news, then we'll make that adjustment when I need to make it.
Jeff?
Obviously, we got the note from the attorney and expressing where it stands at this point. After this, if the answer is no, are there any other alternatives, or is that the end of the line?
I don't know the answer to that question because I wouldn't know what the rationale would be behind a no. I think that would always impact it in terms of what's their justification or reasoning, and does that match up with what we are asking for them to look at. So, we won't quit until, we exhaust every single option if we do get told no. So we'll continue to push it because we think it's the right thing to do, and it's the just thing to do. And in the day of student athlete welfare, all the things that are being done, and this one, the right thing to do is to allow him to play.
Jim again?
Greg, if he can't, how do you feel about your depth heading into this season?
You know what, I got a lot of answers to that on Saturday. I liked what I saw. Reavers actually picked up 2 first half fouls, and I was planning to get Hedstrom some more experience. I got him more sooner than I thought I would, and it wasn't all perfect, but he did some good things. And I was put in a position where I had to play him, like I said, a little sooner than I planned to in that first half, and we were just fine. So, and there's different combinations. We can be so, I've used forward at the 5 some in this preseason and practice, just because of the versatility of this group and the mobility. The day of positionless offense has led to positionless defense, which you're switching a lot of things. So this group with the experience that's there and the mobility and flexibility allow for a lot of different combinations to be on the floor.
One more.
Sure.
In the past, you've always provided a box score from close scrimmage. I understand that you guys are kind of trying to keep as much information hidden as possible. Can you guys explain that, the rationale behind that?
Well, it was more or less just a conversation I had with Steve Prom at Iowa State, and he wasn't necessarily pleased with their previous scrimmage being released. So I said, hey, Steve, it's all right with you. You do these things for your own internal benefit, and I don't need to have it out. If you don't want it out, that's fine. So he was on that same page in my line of thinking that we're doing this for our team's benefit, and we'll keep all that necessary information private and within the 2 teams that played. So I think I said to him, what happens at Cedar Rapids stays at Cedar Rapids. So, but no, it was good for both teams, and I'm sure he got a lot out of it. That was their second one. Obviously for us, first half to second half, you could see a definite jump in our guys and a growth that as that experience grew, they got more and more confident, more and more comfortable, and did a lot of good things. Jay?
This will be the 16th year you're facing a WIAC opponent in an exhibition game. Why are these important for you, and why are they important for the WIAC schools?
Well, first of all, I think it's great for the game of basketball to be able to give a school like La Crosse, for instance, this opportunity to play here. A lot of those guys either envisioned playing in a state tournament, played in a state tournament here, or dreamed of playing for Wisconsin at some point in time. So that, just what it does for the game of basketball within the state, I think is important. It perpetuates the game. It shows a light on it in a positive way. And obviously it's worked very well with our Guarding Against Cancer Foundation in terms of our ability to do a event in La Crosse like we did in September. And then be able to do, obviously with the funds, we're doing a lot of things at Carbone with research, but also a lot of patient care initiatives around the state. And we've done it in Oshkosh, we've done some stuff in the Dells and Wausau and Menominee, obviously the first year at Stout. This year we'll be doing some things in the La Crosse area to help patients and their families at the grassroots level with some funding. So it's a blend of, you know, to be able to play a state school is important. It's against an outside competition, a team that is preparing for a season that'll be running actual offense and have a plan for what they're trying to do. So it serves many purposes in terms of benefiting the game. Obviously the platform for GAC and the help that it can give those patients in that area, as well as obviously it helps us. The most important thing is, you know, that for that night is how we're gonna approach that. It's a game night. It's some of these guys will run out, have their name called in the starting lineup for the first time, and all of those first are good because they lead to what can come down the road.
Anything further, Coach Gard?
All good? All right, thank you.